Hello guys, my name is Melissa Carrillo. Today I'm going to be presenting the cognitive theory paper. Basically, it's just a presentation. I'm talking about how um, it's applied in social work and just its basic information that's needed. And I'm just going to be following our rubric and as well as everything that's needed for each slide. So when talking about cognitive theory, it really emphasizes on working with all types of backgrounds and communities. It can really work with children, children, adults, adolescents. It can work with anxiety, depression, most or almost all of the different mental health statuses or diagnoses. It's really helped and worked with clients and individuals having difficulty with self-esteem, some social anxiety, as well as just like regularly coping with stress. Um, it's often even used with burnout, and we all know how hard it is to kind of just live with burnout. It's actually easier to prevent burnout than to not get rid of burnout, but kind of control burnout. Another thing is, according to the CDC, around 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. experience a mental health disorder. Many of these clients exhibit disordered thoughts and unhelpful core beliefs that influence their emotions and behavior. So using these types of therapies and therapy in general can really help an individual with almost again any, depending on their mental health disorder. Um, but this one specifically talks about helping individuals with anxiety and depression, trauma, any really stress-related disorders. So now we're on the theory overview, and these are more like the core assumptions of cognitive theory. This is really emphasized on our thoughts, our emotions. It's an emphasis on psychological distress, how it arises, psychological distress arises from distorted or irrational thinking, that can lead to some consequences. We also have some key mechanisms like identifying automatic thoughts and core beliefs, challenging cognitive distortions, as well as some relevance to social work. We have how this specific theory really helps clients with their day-to-day skills, which is more like problem solving, some self-sufficiencies, also including supporting that, using some strong based and empowerment perspectives. It also says here promoting client empowerment throughout awareness and choice, which I feel like that can also kind of relate to motivation interviewing. But yeah, I'm sorry. So really, social workers use techniques such as identifying automatic thoughts and cognitive restructuring to help clients reframe negative thinking and build healthier patterns. So from previous research, it shows that cognitive interventions have constantly produced significant improvements in these mental health disorders like anxiety, depression, and trauma recovery. It really it's effective because it provides the tools that most clients need to really have that support self-determination, and that empowerment, which is emphasized. So as the role of supervision, it's really critical to apply cognitive theory effectively, and really allows social workers to refine their skills, remain client-centered, as well as using any really helps both the client and the social worker work together, kind of collaborating, and not helping but guiding the client. And then just having these interventions definitely address the needs of the client. It has like a full scope of the client's needs, of their wants and their needs, but mostly their needs. So we've all heard about the ethics, code of ethics. We've really emphasized every single key point of that. And so the ethics in I can't even talk in relation to this specific theory. I would say the ethical social work really requires clients in their full social and cultural contexts, while cognitive interventions are powerful. They should never replace advocacy or systemic action. Really emphasizing on assuring that we treat the person. So like our principles, our core principles, is a big thing to follow. Always thinking about keeping and maintaining cultural humility, recognizing intersectionality, and just stuff like that. This specific slide is talking about rule settings, and as we all know, Robeson County really counts as a rule setting. So some of the limitations or barriers that people usually face while being here is just confidentiality, because it's such a small town, everybody knows everybody. So let's say they see the car parked in front of this specific place, I'm like, oh, there's John Doe. And let's say this place is a therapeutic practice. And so word gets around, people ask questions. So definitely cognitive theory approaches can be adapted to the group setting. Telehealth can also be offered. It just depends on the client and their needs and their wants. It's really just important to keep that confidentiality. But that's also where cultural humility kind of comes into place. Trying to understand the client, because every client is different. Understanding them, understanding the background. Just keeping that conversation one-on-one. So I have some strengths, some areas of growth, and some next steps. Some strengths would really be strong empathy. Um, I think that'll only take practice. It'll take working with different clients, um, having that clear explanation of the the initial plan, depending on whichever theory I might use during that time. As for some areas of growth, I think managing time more effectively. Sometimes I'm in a rush, sometimes I slow down, and so then things may take longer. So definitely doing that. So back to just kind of refining my time management, expanding my cultural understanding, and just really taking my time with the client, connecting individually with the client and the work I might be emphasizing. In this case, it'd be really connecting individually with cognitive work, the system factors. Yeah.